Hello, Austin. How are you? I'm just getting started here. Okay. Alrighty. Gonna wait until we get some more viewers going. I turned on the ultra low latency this time, so we should only have like a 5 or 10-second lag rather than a 30-second lag. So it'll be a bit less frustrating communicating with the chat. We got 4 viewers now. Welcome to all. Looks like we get a 6-second lag, so that's awesome. So that's a lot better than last time. Hi Blake, we're just getting started here. Just gonna wait for some more people to come in. Right now I'm just tidying up my workspace. And then I'll give the lowdown on what's going on. I wonder if I can like add text on top of this. Can I like, look at that. Whoo! Did that? Oh yeah, it did. That's funny. Can I change the size of that? Yes, I can. Just getting started. Or should I say, currently setting up. Put it right there. There. Can I put an outline there or something? Yes, no, that's a strikeout. That's an underline. Okay. Looks like we're not having any more viewers come in for now, so I might get started in a minute here. Oh, we got 9 viewers now. I think if we hit the 10 mark. No, just down to 8. Alright, I'm gonna get started now. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Welcome to all. Thank you for the thick clicks. Thank you for coming. So here's what we're up to today. This is my Sony CCD-F501 Video 8 camcorder from 1991. I got this a few years ago. Parents of a friend gave it to me. Didn't work. Completely non-functional. This thing has bad capacitors, and it's too bad because it is a beautiful piece of video equipment. What an absolutely gorgeous camcorder. Sony camcorders, Sony everything from this era was just really beautiful, but unfortunately, Sony everything from this era also had crappy capacitors. So this thing's completely non-functional. The most I ever got it to do was when I first got it, I managed to get it to eject the cassette door, and there was also a very faint flickering in the viewfinder, and it made a really pathetic squeaking sound out of the speaker that was supposed to be a beep. So bad capacitors in this thing. Well known, all Sony equipment from this era has bad capacitors, pretty much like 1988 or so to 1994. Was a really bad era for Sony. Pretty much any Sony equipment from that era that you're going to find is going to have bad capacitors, with the exception of, like, you know, their stereos or their big televisions. But as far as their camcorders and other portable video equipment goes, stuff from this era is just all dead with bad capacitors. So the only reason I've kept this thing was I thought, oh, maybe someday I'll, you know, sell it for 10 bucks or something. No, I'm never going to sell this thing. It's worthless. Nobody wants this. There are a few of these on eBay, all super cheap because they're all dead. This is worthless. There's no reason for me to keep this around. I probably have a better chance of selling the power supply here, and maybe the battery, if it's still good, than I do of selling the camcorder itself. So I figured I'll take apart the camcorder. Maybe I'll get it apart to a point where I can actually consider replacing the capacitors, although they're going to be surface mount capacitors, so that's going to suck hard. Although I do know people who have successfully disassembled these and replaced the capacitors, and the things work again, which is incredible. Really talented. So if I get to a point where I think I might be able to do that, I will. Otherwise, we're just going to tear this thing apart, see what's inside it, and then I'll just throw it away afterwards. But I figure what I'll start by doing is I'll take the battery out here. Let me turn my light up. There we go. I'll take the battery out here. I do have the power supply plugged in. I'll just plug in the power supply. This thing's been sitting in Mom's basement for the last 2 years. So I figure I'll just plug it in now and see, like, how dead it is. How does this go? Like that. Let's see. Okay, absolutely nothing happens. Oh, really pathetic squeaking noise I just heard. Viewfinder is not functioning. No eject. Oh! Oh yeah, this friggin' tape counter, that still works. Let's see if I can... The tape counter is still functional. Hi, Trevor. Put it in camera mode. Yeah, nothing. Oh! It's making a really pathetic squeaking noise. Oh! There is stuff in the viewfinder. The viewfinder is super dim and flickery, and it just turned off. So that would be caps in the power supply section. Yeah, but it's not ejecting this time. So caps in the power supply, possibly if I were to just replace the caps in the power supply section, that might be enough to get this thing to work. But yeah, it's not ejecting now. I got it to eject a couple of times when I first got it. The tape counter display is still functioning. But yeah, there used to be stuff come up really faintly on this display, but oh, we're coming alive again. Yeah, no eject though. Alright, let's open this thing up. So yeah, the power supply is probably still good. Actually, what I ought to do, I ought to measure the, let me get a multimeter. I should clarify what I mean by power supply and power supply. Hi, Alistair. This power supply that plugs into the wall is probably good, but the internal power supply inside the camcorder that provides power for all the different subsystems, that's probably no good. But I'm just going to measure the voltage on the thing here, on the power supply here, just make sure it's good. We are getting 7.7 volts, which I think is good. Yes, it's rated for 7.5 volts. So this is definitely still working okay. Yeah, Chris, I doubt I'm going to fix this. Stuff of this age and of this complexity, stuff like camcorders, I am not good at disassembling. I highly doubt that I'm going to get to a position where I might actually be able to replace the capacitors. I'm pretty much just disassembling this for fun. But who knows, right? I don't know where the hell to start on this. I could try taking the cassette door out, but I can't get it to eject. Wonder if I just... Oh, not even the tape counter display is working now. Yeah, she did. She did. I'm just gonna start with these screws. Unfortunately, this awkward thing is my only Phillips screwdriver small enough to handle these tiny screws. But yeah, it just sucks, because there's so much cool Sony equipment from this era, but it all has bad surface mount capacitors. Older Sony stuff, like from before the late 80s, it's great, it's fine. I've got a nearly 40-year-old Sony Watchman that still works perfect. But stuff from like the late 80s to the mid 90s, no bueno. Yeah, it really does. It really is a Swiss Army screwdriver. It's got 4 flathead and 4 Phillips. It's really useful. What else? You know what I should do? I should have a thing to put screws into. I'll use this roll of painter's tape to house screws. Yeah, Bridget's sleeping again. As far as I know, I haven't heard from her in a couple hours. How's the pinch roller on that Hitachi VCR there, Savage Gamer? Because in my experience, Hitachi VCRs are just horrible for pinch rollers going bad. I guess we're not getting that out. Oh, the lock switch was on. I wonder if that'll change anything. Nope. We'll just keep on going then. And of course, there's no service manual for this. Oh wow, that's got a coin cell battery in it. Wonder if that's the original. Okay, we're starting to come apart. We'll just get the rest of these screws. Yeah, I tried to recover the pinch roller on my RCA VPT292. I tried boiling, I tried rubber renew, I tried boiling it, nothing helped. I got nothing to lose with this thing, so I might as well just YOLO it and take every screw out. I just realized this thing has a Vivitar UV filter on the lens. So whoever owned this thing cared about it enough to get that. my mono VCRs. I'll never get a modern mono VCR, but, you know, a vintage mono VCR. Like, I love my Orion. I love my Emerson VCR 765. That's only a 2-in mono VCR, but I love that thing. That's a cool VCR, and it works extremely well. I love it. There is something moving around inside this. Oh, yeah, it's a screw I took out. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's got a Vivitar UV filter on it. Vivitar makes a lot of camera. This thing just has a standard screw mount. Let's see. How big is it? 46mm. Just a standard 46mm lens screw mount on it. So yeah, it's got this UV filter that screws on like that, and then this little miniature lens hood that screws on like that. So those will be worth saving, because I can use those on other equipment. I don't know if I have any other 46mm equipment, but I can do that. Yeah, you know, we're in an era now where younger people do not know how to use tape. They don't know how to use VCRs or cassettes. I once got a comment from someone asking me how to erase recordings they had made on a VHS-C camcorder, and I'm like, it's tape. Just record over it. But people, there are now adults, like the youngest adults in this world. So we're talking people born in the early or mid-2000s who have never used that stuff. It's crazy. Well, we're getting somewhere. Well, Vivitar now is just a brand name. I think they went out of business a long time ago, and they're just a brand name owned by the Chinese now. But back in the day, they made legitimately good stuff. They were a legitimate optical company that made really good stuff. Hey, I'm a millennial. I'm talking about the Gen Z. The Gen Zs, the oldest of which are now 20, the Gen Zs have no experience with tape. The oldest millennials are 38 now. I'm pretty much playing Find a Screw with this thing. We got our first DVD player. My dad actually got one before Mom and I got one. My dad got one in like the mid-2000s. It's funny, we all thought it would never get better than that. We thought it would never get better than DVD. And then high definition came around. Alright, what am I missing? Right here. Yeah, no, I've seen V. Westlight's video of those Heartland America catalogs. Man, that's some garbage they peddle in there. And of course it works because the only people looking at stuff on paper catalogs are older people. And unfortunately, older people don't know that all these, you know, old school brand names that they know, like Crosley and Vivitar, they're just all garbage now. But they don't know that. And they get duped. Almost there. Oh. That's out. It might be the cassette door holding me up. I wonder if I can get it out without it being ejected. I have never owned a Blu-ray player. My mom never owned one. I don't think I've ever even touched a Blu-ray disc. Oh, look at that. You can get it out without ejecting. Ta-da! Alright. So here's what the inside of the VCR looks like. Screw in here? Ha, there is. Hidden screw behind the transport control door. I wonder if I can take this door off. I don't know. Oh. Are these screws holding me up? Oh. That's the viewfinder, which is held together with a ribbon cable that I don't know where to take out. I still can't believe that Panasonic actually made a VHS Blu-ray combo machine. That is awesome. I'm scoping out for any screws I might have missed. They are everywhere. Oh, the lens is falling apart. Okay. Take the battery out just in case that impedes it. What am I missing? Oh, I bet there's a screw in here. Nope. Dang! Okay. I think I want to screw this back in before I rip the ribbon cable apart. Are the streams going to be a regular thing? No, probably not. It's just something I do. It's a good way to document stuff that's not worth making a video about. There. I think I'm missing some screws still. I'm not sure where. Hi Andrew, how are you? Hello to everybody who's joined since I started. Oh my god, I did miss a screw. You look over something 20 times and on the 21st time you find a screw. Oh no, I think I did take this one out, it just hasn't fallen out. Yeah. Oh. Alright. What am I missing? I actually had this thing apart when I first got it. I took it apart just enough to see what was inside it, and then I put it back together. And now I can't take it apart again. Oh, it's starting to come apart. Oh, oh. Alright, never mind. We are apart. Alright. Gotta unplug some ribbon cables. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So here's what this half of the unit looks like. We've got the viewfinder, the microphone, and then on the business thing, on the business end I mean, we got tons of tiny little surface mount capacitors. Yeah. Oh, is this thing gonna come off? One screw's holding me up. Woo! there's these pieces. Okay. And then this little ribbon cable comes out of there. So now this half comes out. And we're left with the guts of the thing. There's your little head drum. Wow. Yeah, it is a lot of capacitors. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 70 or 80 capacitors just on this one board. Yeah. Not worth it. Not worth it when you don't even know if it's going to work. I mean, powering this thing on with the old capacitors in it may have destroyed something, may have burned out an integrated circuit or something. So it just isn't worth all the work of replacing these tiny little capacitors, which are packed so tightly that you might not be able to get normal capacitors in there. They just might be too closely spaced together. It's not worth it. This thing's trash. And I'm okay with that. I expected that anyway. So I say we just keep taking it apart until we're down to the guts. I will save. Well, oh, but it's hooked up with a ribbon cable. I was gonna say I'll save the viewfinder. Maybe I can turn it into a tiny little, because the black and white CRT, I figure maybe I can turn it into a tiny little monitor or something. Nope, no smell. No weird smell. But the viewfinder's connected with, I guess I could, if I made sense of all these wires, I could do it. Just a ground, a power, and then a composite video input. Oh, this microphone might be worth saving as well. This is a stereo microphone. This thing has a hi-fi stereo VCR in it. Even though it's video 8 and not high 8, it's hi-fi stereo. So this was our nice unit for the time. So this microphone, I'll have to see if I can salvage, because it's a stereo microphone. So yeah, I'm not even going to begin to entertain the thought of fixing this thing. It's done. We'll just pull it apart, and we'll see what all's inside it. Let me see if I can zoom in here for you. Do. Well, in this case, the viewfinder, the ribbon of the viewfinder goes to a circuit board, which then breaks out into a bunch of wires. So I might be able to use a circuit board with it, if I do anything with it. How's this circuit board come out? Oh, my webcam? It's a 720p webcam, but it's still high definition, but I'm doing it at 960 by 720 instead of 1280 by 720 because when you put it into 1280 by 720, it crops it. the sensor in it is a 4x3 sensor, so I get the widest angle by doing 960 by 720. So there's this board. Looks like maybe part of the VCR, maybe. There's some brown gunk on there. I wonder if that's capacitor gunk or if that's just circuit glue or flux. 1, 2, 3, 4 capacitors on this. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to get one of these, only get it if it's free or very, very, very cheap. Because dollars to donuts it's not gonna work. Ah, that's nice design. It's hinged. That's very nice design. Too bad part of that nice design wasn't picking decent capacitors. Those appear to be soldered on there. That's soldered on there. I could just start ripping things apart by brute force, but I do wanna try and be proper with it. I'm looking for screws. I wonder if I can disassemble the camera portion right down to the CCD so we can see what the CCD looks like. This is a Video 8 camcorder. So it uses a Video 8 tape, which looks like this. This is a high 8 tape, but a Video 8 tape looks the same. I've got another Video 8 camcorder that I haven't shown yet. I will make a video of it sometime. It works perfectly. Bridget's parents gave it to me. It's a General Electric Video 8 camcorder from 1996. And it is weird. It is the most basic no-frills camcorder that I've ever seen, despite it that it's Video 8. It's got an optical viewfinder, and it's not even through the lens. It's just there's a separate lens on the front of the camcorder that goes to the viewfinder, so you don't even see what the lens sees. But surprisingly, really good video quality. I mean, it's Video 8 after all. But it's such a funny camcorder because it's so basic, no frills. The only indicators on it are a really small LCD panel that gives you like a tape counter and transport indicators. It's really funny. It is a silly camcorder. What's really cool though is it had a tape in it when I got it with footage of Bridget from 2000 when she was in high school. Or no, she was in high school. It would have been 2001 is when she started high school. So super old footage of Bridget, which I will show. I have her permission. But yeah, really good video quality. It was a super cheap camcorder for the time. It was only like 300 bucks. There's the camera portion. But yeah, really, it's a neat camcorder that works really well, despite how basic it is. All right. I'm curious if this coin sells any good. Nope, 0.1 volts. Alright. This thing had a 10x zoom lens on it from 8.5 millimeters to 85 millimeters. And you could manually focus. It had a mechanical manual focus and everything. Hi, Vintage Passion. I want to get to the CCD. I want to see what the CCD looks like in this thing. Oh, and that GE camcorder, it's not autofocus or manual focus. It's got no focus at all. It's just a fixed, permanent lens that has no need of focusing because it's literally just a tiny pinhole with a plastic cap over it. It's so funny. It's like a toy almost. The fact that the weirdest part of it is that it's Video 8. Like, why would you make such a nutty camcorder, but then give it a VCR that's Video 8? Like, because Video 8's quite a high-end format. Although in 1996 it was kind of old hat. High 8 was the standard then. But I'm surprised that they didn't make it like VHS-C. And it's got a good battery too. I will make a video of it sometime. I can only give you that because I have no idea. It could be a week from now, could be 6 months from now. I've had the thing for like 8 months. So that's how good I am at making videos of stuff. My favorite part is just seeing footage of 14-year-old Bridget. She was making a high school documentary. She took the camcorder to school. and used it to make a little documentary. Sony, like everything, like most stuff Sony made, they did license it out. Hitachi made high 8 and digital 8 camcorders. I think, oh, RCA made video 8 camcorders. They were called the Pro 8. They're neat looking camcorders. But being RCA, they would have been made by Hitachi, which means they probably got rock hard pinch rollers, although I could be wrong. Yeah, you really are obsessed with the whole silly thing. I mean, that computer was silly, but now it's pretty darn cool. But you're a little overboard on the silly thing. Sony let you use their stuff, but they would charge you a friggin' premium for it. Sanyo made Betamax VCRs. I think a couple other companies did too. I guess it makes sense that Hitachi made digital 8 camcorders, because Hitachi made RCA's camcorders, and RCA sold video 8 camcorders, so they were probably made by Hitachi. So it was probably just Hitachi who bothered licensing it. And then because Hitachi licensed it, RCA managed to they got the ability to sell camcorders that were video 8. Maybe once I'm done with this thing, if there are people still on the stream, I'll switch to the screen here, and we'll just take a look at some cool camcorders. RCA video 8 camcorders. Oh, by the way, I'm for those who don't follow me on Twitter, so you don't know this yet. Actually, I haven't even spoken about the second one on Twitter yet, so nobody knows about that, but I have purchased not one, but 2 reel-to-reel tape recorders. They are on their way to Bridget's house, so I won't be able to get my hands on them for a long time until they open the US-Canada border. But I have bought my very first 2 reel-to-reel tape recorders. So I've always wanted a reel-to-reel tape recorder, but I was always too scared to bite the bullet. But I finally did. I got 2 of them because they're quite awesome. Or they are awesome, but they're quite different is what I meant to say. English is hard. One of them is a battery-powered small unit that takes 3-inch reels. The other one is also battery powered, but it's a larger unit that takes 5-inch reels, and they're both from the 60s. Yeah, you should ask Bridget that. I have literally, in Bridget's kitchen is literally a mountain of stuff that I have ordered that I can't pick up, and it's too expensive for her to ship it to me. There's a typewriter, a Motorola bag phone, an iPod, it's going to be 2 reel-to-reel tape recorders, stuff that I don't even remember what I've purchased because it's been so long. Yeah, Bridget's good to me. She's good to me by by housing all that stuff for me until I'm able to come and get it. We're almost to the point where we can reveal the CCD. I think it's on this circuit board. Yeah, I think I can see it. I can see the back side of it. So there's two little motors here. One controls the focus and the other controls the power zoom. Yeah, I love reel-to-reel tape recorders, but I never got the courage up to put the money out for one, just because I was always scared that stuff that old, because you know the bulk of reel-to-reel tape recorders, the bulk of affordable ones are from the 60s or 70s, very early 70s, mostly 60s. I always thought, you know, there's a big risk that something like that's going to be totally broken because of how old it is. What I've now learned in the years since is that stuff from the 60s is way more likely to be working and restorable than something from the 80s, just because they aren't as nearly as electronically complex. Like my Bradford turntable from 1964, that thing was a breeze to restore. It took a bit of work, but it was totally doable, and I did it. Replaced all the capacitors, lubed all the mechanical parts, super easy. Yeah, it pays to have a place to ship stuff in the USA there, Alistair. I've got my P.O. box, but now, most recently, I have Bridget. If you live close to the US, you can usually... I'm just going to break these wires. Oh, if I can, I'm a weakling. If you live close to the US, there's probably a store on the other side of the border that will let you ship stuff to them, and then they'll charge you $2 or $3 to pick it up. But I wonder about how you'd get affordable tape stock. There's tons of new old stock tape reels on eBay. I bought a 3-inch reel of Scotch tape for $4 and like $3 shipping. A problem with some reel-to-reel tape now is a phenomenon called sticky shed syndrome, or triple S for short. Some reel-to-reel tapes, oh, what's it called? It starts with B, not binding, maybe binder. Yeah, I think it's binder. The binder material, which is the material that binds the magnetic particles to the acetate tape, it goes bad and it turns into a sticky goop that makes the tape not able to run across the head. It'll like screech and shudder while it runs across the head because it's fetching up. So some tapes are bad for that. Some are okay for that. You can find lists of tapes that people have tested and whether or not they suffer from this sticky shed syndrome or not. Some Scotch formulations do. Scotch made a ton of different reel-to-reel tape formulations. Some suffer from the sticky shed and some don't. We're getting down there. I'm getting closer and closer to the CCD. Oh, I could have saved that filter. I don't want to break that UV filter. That's still useful. I said sticky shed syndrome, but that is very funny. Shed as in shedding material onto the rollers and the pinch rollers and the head. It's messy. You can help tapes that suffer from sticky shed syndrome by just cleaning the tape. Like, put the reels on the machine, but don't actually wind the tape around the heads. Just go straight from one reel to the other reel. And take a paper towel soaked with alcohol or something and pinch it around the tape, and then hit fast forward, and the tape will run through the paper towel and it'll clean all the gunk off. Sometimes that can help. Alright, there are 4 screws adhering the lens to the CCD, and I might or might not be able to get to them because there's just too much stuff in the way. I might have to just start disassembling the... Woo! That almost took my eye out. Wow, that got in my hair. Piece of plastic just came flying out and like, oh man, it like hit my cheek. Oh, I should put glasses on just to protect my eyes. Oh, well done, Flo. I left my glasses at work. Ugh. So I guess I'll just use my safety squints. Alright, how do we get this lens apart? Oh, that just fell right off. So there's the first element of the lens. You can see how the zoom works. Ew, greasy. Yeah, really greasy. I want that CCD, dang it. Oh, there's screws on the back. I wonder if I could get it out from behind. Now my hands are full of grease. Ouch. That hurt. Yeah, that's the caveat of this screwdriver. Ouch. Oh. Pinched a fingernail. Let's try that again. Why? What happened with the Dell Inspiron 5150? Did I get myself in the eye? Yeah, I don't wear my glasses except when I need to drive or see something far away. I prefer myself without them when it comes to pictures. So I don't wear them in pictures. Well, once in a great while I do. There's a picture of me with glasses on. Let me find it. We're going on a Facebook dive. I thought I had a profile picture where I wore glasses, but I do not. Must be on Instagram I was thinking of. I am nearsighted. Which means that I can see close up. Although in the past year and a half, my close-up vision has started to... That wasn't clicking. You were hearing my, that was my scroll wheel. In the last year and a half or so, my close-up vision has deteriorated slightly. They tested my eyes, and I do have enough of a close-up deficiency now that technically bifocals would be beneficial to me. But I'm not getting those. No, there's a type of glasses I can get that like work for both, but they're not bifocals because my close-up vision's not bad enough to require bifocals. I don't know what you mean about clicking. I was looking through my Facebook profile for a picture that I thought was on there. Someone mentioned they had never seen me without glasses. Man! I might just have to brute force getting this lens off. My hands... Oh, there's where the grease is coming from. Yep, I've got my TRV-66. It's in my closet at Mom's house in its bag, so it's safe. Haven't touched it in a year or so. I should grab it just to make sure it still works good. But yeah, I love that camcorder. That is a beautiful camcorder. Well, shit, Batman. I don't know where to... I don't know how to get to this CCD. I could get the Dremel out and just Dremel the lens off, but I'm scared of getting like glass shattering everywhere. I wonder if I can just rip it off. Something's ripping off. I hear tearing. What do you think about the Lenovo all-in-one Idea Center 520? I don't know. I have never owned one. Or used one. Woo! Alright. So that's the back side of the CCD. But I'd like to see the front side of the CCD. Yeah, the light's a useful feature. My TRV-66 seems to overexpose stuff a little bit. And you can't tell when you're videotaping, but when you play it back, you're like, wow, that's kind of overexposed, and it makes the video kind of grainy. I don't know. I should play with the settings on it sometime. I do not have the right screwdriver to go poking in this. I'm going to go hunt in my toolbox. BRB. No, these aren't any good either. Well, we might not get to see the CCD. I don't know if I can get a screwdriver in there. Oh, maybe I can now. Or maybe I can't. Ouch. Split screen. Well, I'm starting not to care enough to keep, because all I'm doing is hurting myself and making myself look stupid trying to get this CCD off. It's mounted to the lens with like 4 screws, and I don't have the right heckin' screwdriver. This one usually works with everything, but it's not working with these ones. Yeah, it's a black and white CRT viewfinder, and I'm going to keep it because I might be able to turn it into something cool, like what 12-volt vids did. Granted, I don't have near his level of skill. Oh, the screwdriver fits. I thought I tried it and it didn't. I was just trying it again because I'm persistent. Or insane if you go by the definition of insanity. Oh, we're getting there, folks. Hey! So it's got this filter on it, but that is what a CCD image sensor looks like. Now, I wonder if I can get this little filter off it. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Whoa, that's really neat. It's got this like stack of glass filters on top of it. Hold on, I gotta take some photographs of this. I don't know if the battery in this camera is good. By the looks of it, it isn't. Ugh. It's a Sony Mavica MVC FD90 from 1999, 1.2 megapixels. I'll use my phone too, just because a 21-year-old Sony Mavica might not be the best source of crisp images. I gotta go find my phone. These are the 5 rarest Corvettes that Chevrolet ever built. I don't care. I'll share these pictures on my Twitter feed. Because this is the first time I've ever actually seen a CCD. It's a tiny CCD compared to what you'll find in like mirrorless cameras. It's a Samsung Galaxy F7. Mavica stands for Magnetic Video Camera because the original Sony Mavica in the 90s, in the early 90s, late 80s actually I think, took a proprietary floppy disk that was called a video floppy. And it was called a still video camera because the pictures it took were actually fields of video. So the picture would be stored in an analog fashion on the disk as a field of video. And when you wanted to view the picture, you'd view it on a television set. And actually, it might have been a frame of video rather than a field. But the disk would have to rotate constantly to view a picture because it was reading it as a video signal. So Mavica stands for Magnetic Video Camera. Even though it didn't take video, it took still pictures. Yeah, I don't use Instagram anymore. I don't even have it on my phone. I just fell out of favor of it because the whole reason I started Instagram was to document my gender transition, and there's nothing to document anymore except me being sad because I've gained 100 pounds since I finished transitioning. But anywho, so yeah, I'm not on it anymore. Now, let me see if I can get these glass filters off. Oh, yes I can. Ah. And there is the bare CCD. So I'm going to get some pictures of that. My phone's doing much better than the Mavica's doing, unsurprisingly. Cool. What an interesting, it's like this blue glass filter. It's interesting. If I put it in front of you guys, everything's blue. Weird. Alright. Well, what's left? I guess I'll get that microphone out of there. Oh, geez, there's so many tiny screws and everything. This is gonna be fun to clean up. Oh, man. Alright. Let's see. Nope. I always wanted a Panasonic AG 1970 or 1980, but I'll probably never get one because they are way too expensive to procure in working condition. They all suffer from bad capacitors now, and there are people who make a business out of refurbishing them and selling them, but you will pay close to $1,000 to get a working unit, either buying a working one outright or buying a broken one and then getting it refurbished. You'll be $1,000 into it, and that's just as wonderful of a machine as they are. That's just not worth it unless you really got money to blow. Oh, oh well, that's the cap from the microphone. There's the microphone itself. Oh, okay, that's meant to come off, I guess. How the hell do I get the microphone out? I love my Panasonic SVHS camcorder, though. I don't know why that thing still works, but I love it. Okay. So I've got everything out except the microphone itself. How do I get the microphone itself out? Oh, does it just yank out? Ooh, well, I stripped all the wires off it, but it came out. That's fine. All the wires are still there. There. There's a stereo microphone. Yeah, rest in pieces for sure. About 28 million pieces right now. Oh man. I guess the last thing to get out of here is the CRT. That's the only part I want to keep. And then I got the power supply, which I might try to sell. And I've got the battery, which I'll have to test, but I might try to sell that as well. I don't think it fits. Well, I'm going to try it now. I'm going to see if it fits this thing, just for giggles. Oh wow, it physically fits, but the connectors don't line up. Wow, I didn't expect that. Geez, camcorder batteries really were standardized. Look how thick that is. That is one chunky battery. Darn, it's too bad it doesn't, it's too bad the connectors don't line up. Huh. Alright. Viewfinder. So the ribbon cable goes in here. There. So that is the viewfinder, which has this ribbon cable on it. And someone said maybe inside this thing is just wires that turn into the ribbon cable? That'd be nice. Let's see if we can get the lens off it so we can see the CRT itself. Normally these just rotate off. Oh, there we go. Slides off. Here's the CRT. Cool. Alright. Now, I do want to save the board, just in case the CRT board is useful. This has got a lot of buttons on it, so it might actually... Yeah, so this probably doesn't actually... This isn't useful for the viewfinder. It's just got a bunch of extraneous functions on it. So, I got the viewfinder, I got the microphone, and I got the battery, and I don't think there's anything else I want out of this thing. There was no light on it. So I guess now it's time to start cleaning up my mess. Let's see. See if I can zoom back out here. Well, if it'll let me, the thing's not coming up now. Is it hidden back here somewhere? Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. So now I get to clean up this whole mess. Let me get a plastic bag. That felt good. It feels good being able to, like, finally destroy something, and it's like, it's finally out of my life. I don't have to think about it anymore. Wondering if I should sell it or try to fix it. Well, the fate has finally been determined, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore. We never really did dig into the VCR section of it. Well, there it is. Yep, it's an IBM Model M, made in 1987, making it one of the earliest ones that had a PS2 connector on them. Maybe we'll take apart the infrared transmitter here just to see what's inside that. Did you pick it up? Because $3.99 for a Model M. That's a friggin' insane deal. Oh, save that. They made them as late as 1997? I didn't know that. I thought they stopped in like 1994 or something. See what this thing... If you're wondering how long I've been streaming, it's been 1 hour and 38 minutes. Oh yeah, Model M's work on Macs. You just need the PS2 to USB adapter. The one that's recommended for Model M's, which is the blue cube adapter. I believe that it'll work on a Mac just the same. I should try it on my MacBook someday. Not sure how to get this thing open. Oh, you know what I could use? I could use wire cutters. Well, a keyboard is a keyboard. PC keyboards work on Macs just fine. So yeah, the Unicomp Model M's work on a Mac. They might make a Mac version that has the special keys. Okay, just a little photo sensor on that one. Oh, that's cool. Buckling springs at all? And all? Or is it rubber dome? foot's itchy. Oh, well that's cool. I had no idea. Oh, my foot is really itchy for some reason. And it's hard to scratch because I'm ticklish. Alright. I am so friggin' ticklish. Ask Bridget. Bridget just has to threaten to tickle me and I'm squealing. Bolt mod? What's the bolt mod? I'm struggling with this screw. Screw it. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Alright, I'm over it. I can't get that one screw out. And you need an eyeglass screwdriver for it. I have one, but it's at Mom's house. Yeah, this is a garbage bag. This is where all the parts of the camcorder went. Right now, I just want to see if I can get the separate the CCD. I kind of almost want to keep the CCD just because it's kind of neat. Oh, there we go. There. I've separated the, so that's the chip itself. It's on a ceramic chip with a glass filter over it. There it is. That's your CCD. I'll have to take more photographs of this. The part number on it is Sony ICX026CK-2. Made in Japan. Cute little CCD. Nice. And then I got the microphone right here, which I'll have to see if I can just, solder a stereo headphone cable onto it. Just making a normal plug-in microphone. That would be cool. Actually, it's got 4 wires on it. So it's not just a dumb microphone. There must be some circuitry going on in here. Oh, I see the 2 microphone elements. Oh, these are those types of microphones that have 3 wires going to them because they need like power or something. Oh, that's weird. I might not be able to make use of this then, unless I find out how it works. Actually, this microphone element has 4 wires going to it. Oh, that's weird. A stereo microphone would have 3 wires going to it, ground, left, and right. But this one's got 4 wires. And I think there's a circuit board inside there. I don't know. I'll play around with it someday. And then this viewfinder. Let's open up the viewfinder. Let's see if this ribbon cable breaks out into useful wires. And get this stand off it too. It's too bad this camcorder didn't have a color viewfinder on it. That would have been cool to have a tiny color CRT. Still haven't heard from Bridget. She must be napping hard. Which I don't blame her. Oh yeah, Panasonic sold a portable TV that had a color CRT, 1.5 inch. The Panasonic Travel Vision CT101. But yeah, camcorders with color viewfinders. The viewfinders were CRT, so these were tiny color CRT viewfinders. Unless those camcorders used LCDs for the color viewfinder, but I can't imagine they were recent enough that they started doing, because I like, this thing's from 2003 and it still has a CRT viewfinder, so they must have been, the color viewfinders must have been CRT. If I can use this. No. Oh, speak of the devil. Is that Bridget? Yes, it is. I'll put my headphones on in case Bridge wants to call and join me. She just woke up. These screws really don't want to come out. Is today really National VCR Day? Because that's a day that I have never heard of. Wow, National VCR Day. Oh, that's funny. Damn, well, happy National VCR Day, everybody. Ooh. This thing's rad. Look at that. Look at the tiny tube. Little tiny CRT. Look at that. That is so neat. And that's the tube. Wow. I wonder what voltage this runs on. The battery of the camcorder is 7.5 volts. The tube was made by Matsushita. And the board, I wonder if the board is the same. Looking for a Matsushita logo on the board. No, looks like the board was actually made by Sony. Interesting. Few hundred volts is what a tube of this size would use. Not as nasty as a few thousand volts for larger CRTs, but still enough to give you a bit of a bite if you're not careful. And that's weird. Oh, it was a little LED. Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, it is National VCR Day after all, not International VCR Day. I wonder if I can get this plastic hood off the CRT, because it looks like the CRT itself probably has a round face. But this plastic part has a square aperture on it. I don't want to break the CRT though. So the CRT's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's got like 10 wires going to it. 2 for the cathode. Probably 2 to control the cathode ray. Or 4 actually. 3 or 4. Horizontal and vertical deflection. I don't know. The hell do I know? Oh, sorry, somebody asked me a long time ago in the stream what the iPod I got was. I actually have two vintage iPods that I got recently. I have a fourth generation iPod that I bought on shopgoodwill.com, and then I bought a iPod Photo on eBay, which is currently at Bridget's house. I got on a little stint where I wanted... Well, I missed having an iPod, because my fifth generation iPod, it suffered an electronic failure. And I tried other devices to use as a media player, but there's just nothing like an iPod. So I decided to get another iPod. And using the fourth generation iPod, super viable media player still 16 years after its introduction. I am trying to get this ribbon cable out of here, but I am not doing a very good job. There we go. Almost. Probably not going to fit through there, is it? Oh, maybe. Hey, got the ribbon cable out. Cool. I'm going to have to vacuum when I'm done here. So there's 6 contacts on this ribbon cable. Ground, power, video, and then I don't know what else. How many pads are actually in use? How many contacts did I say? 6. Looks like most of them might be in use. I don't know why. I don't know why there'd be 6 contacts. Ground, power, video, maybe a video ground, that would make 4. Don't know. Maybe I'll find some info online. Let's actually do some Googling. Viewfinder. Hacking camcorder CRT viewfinders on Instructables.com. Show someone running Windows 98 on their CRT viewfinder. That's funny. Ground pin. Oh yeah, I could find ground just with the multimeter. So let me... Oh, I've got alligator clips on this. I might need to get some proper probes. Unless there's something to click on, or clip on. I gotta remember that I'm dealing with a CRT here, so I definitely don't want to accidentally break it. Little thing. Guess I'll just hold it. Okay, one of these is definitely ground. I don't know which yet. I'll just read through this here. Well, this person has a viewfinder that just uses normal wires. That's not fair. This person's got a lot older viewfinder, so everything's bigger and it's got actual wires coming out of it instead of a ribbon cable. Of course, I could solder wires onto this. Delicately, but I could. Actually, I could solder them onto the end of the ribbon cable too, possibly. I wish stuff was labeled on here, but it isn't. It's weird that everybody says the stream's buffering. The live console says that the stream status is fine. And also, my little preview doesn't buffer at any point, so it just must be on your guys' end. I don't know. It would take me quite a while to figure that out. Well, Bridget's had to go to the store to get some groceries, so she won't be on here for at least a little while. And I've pretty much done everything I'm gonna do. So I think I might end the stream here. Our numbers are dwindling anyway. But yeah, there you go. Destruction of a camcorder. So now I don't have to deal with that anymore. And got a little CRT viewfinder to experiment with in the future. Stereo microphone that I'll have to figure out how to make it work. CCD chip. That's pretty cool. And then I got a NiCad battery, which may or may not be any good, and then this power supply, which I might be able to sell on eBay. But there you go, anyhow. Thanks everyone for joining the stream and just watching me tinker around with stuff. When will I stream again? I don't know. This was just sort of off the cuff. But there you go anyhow. Thanks for coming on with me this afternoon. And I'll see you guys later.